On this video, you're going to learn about the Joy Organics label design process. Now, you're not going to just learn about our process. You're going to learn insights and ideas that are going to help you have the best looking labels possible, labels that resonate with your target audience. Let's dive right into it. I'm going to talk about 10 different steps. I would highly recommend that you make notes so that you can refer to those notes as you work through this process. Step 1 is to reach out to a private label specialist here at Joy Organics. I checked prior to coming in today. We have launched 1,124 private label brands, likely more than any company, not just in the United States, but probably more than any company in the world. In fact, I would bet that there's not a company in the United States that's launched half as many private label brands as we have launched. The point to this is we have learned a lot. We're really good at what we do, probably the best in the industry. We've got great processes in place. In fact, I'll just tell you that this last month we spent less than $200 on errors as it relates to the private label process. And so when I say an error, if all of a sudden we've made a mistake and we miss a deadline, then we spend the extra money to have the order sent by overnight air. If a label is wrong, we have to have it reprinted. So we are not making many mistakes here. We've got basically an extensive process. We follow all general manufacturing practices, but even above and beyond that, we have processes in place to make sure that every product that we send out of this building is a product that looks amazing and that we're proud of and that you'll be proud of when you receive it. So my point here on step 1 about talking to a consultant is when you call and you talk to our private label consultant, you can share with them what you're doing, what your plans are. As they listen to you, they'll be able to give you insights and ideas. I mean, there's nobody on our private label design team that you can talk to that hasn't launched at least 250 brands. I mean, everybody is highly experienced, highly knowledgeable, and really are more of a consultant and an advisory type person than they are a person that's going to help you process your order. They'll give you great advice on what products to buy based upon what you're doing. So start the process by talking to one of our consultants and let them just kind of share with you some things to be thinking about. You can reach out to us at privatelabel@joyorganics.com, which is the best thing. You could call us and we'll get back to you immediately. The second step is to prepare. And what I recommend that you do as you prepare is, number 1, think about your target market. It is critical that you know who your target market is before we start designing your labels. I mean, if your target market are seniors, you're going to want large font. If your target market are kayakers, you're going to want labels that connect with kayakers. If your target market is women, you're not going to want black labels. So it's important that you get very clear on who your target market is. I mean, the days of the one-size-fits-all CBD company that is going to sell to kayakers, seniors, women, men, the list goes on, are over. If you want to be successful as a CBD business owner, you need to get crystal clear on who your target market is. Now, the second thing you need to do is to look at your branding selections. And when I say branding selections, let's assume your target market are women. Here at Joy Organics, our target market are women between 35 and 65 that shop at Whole Foods, that care about the environment. So if your target market are women, then you'd want to look at what colors most resonate with women. What kind of fonts most resonate with women. Now, we know this. I mean, if you just say, hey, our target market are women between this certain age that do this, we know because of the fact that we've designed thousands and thousands of labels, we know this. I mean, our design team knows if, what color is the best color for immune health, as an example, yellow and red. Again, you can do some of this research on your own. If your target market is, let's just say kayakers, you can type in Google what colors most resonate with kayakers. See if there's something out there that allows you to get some ideas of what colors most resonate with your target audience. So again, a very important thing to do in the preparation stage is to think about what you want your brand to look like. Again, we'll give you a lot of advice and ideas on this, but really it begins with you thinking about what you really like, what you think is going to resonate most with your target audience. Number 3 is design your logo. Now, we recommend a very simple, clean logo design. you have to keep in mind that your logo is going to be reduced down to a very small size on the front of a tincture bottle. You don't want it to be multicolors and complex. You want it to be clean and simple. Again, look at the Joy Organics logo. I referenced Sagely Naturals earlier, a brand that, again, their target market are also women. Look at how clean their logo is. It's not fancy, it's not cute, it's not something that people have a hard time reading. It's clean, it's easy, and that's what we highly recommend. Now, here at Joy Organics, we could design your logo for you, or you can use a logo service that we'll talk about in another video. And I would highly recommend to watch my 10 videos on the 10 steps to starting a CBD business, because one of those steps is about logo design. What I also recommend that you do is to look at what special design requests you have. If there's a special kind of background you're looking for, or just something that that really you feel is going to most resonate with your target audience, make a note of it. If you don't have any special design requests, no problem. We'll create a logo and a label that we believe is going to best match with your target audience. And then designate a point person. If you're doing this as part of a team, your husband and wife, or you're part of a team of people, there needs to be one person that is the point person that communicates with us on your label design, just so that we don't have too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. So step 2 is to prepare. Step 3 is to make your product selection. And again, the private label specialist that you're working with will give you advice on what products would be best based upon your target audience and based upon what your budget is. Very simply, I'll tell you that, and I teach them, our goal is not to get the largest order out of people as we can. That's not it at all. In fact, I would say that 75% of the people I talk to, I actually talk them down on order size, not up on order size. Largely because we're looking for long-term relationships. We're looking for partnerships. We're looking for people that say, hey, I love the way I'm being treated at Joy Organics. They really care about me. It's not just about the money. They care about my success. And if you're somebody who's starting a CBD business and you've never been an entrepreneur before, I would highly recommend that you not place an order for more than $10,000. In fact, I would recommend that your order somewhere between $2,500 and $5,000 if you've never been an entrepreneur before. And the reason is because of what you don't know, you don't know. That's the biggest risk as an entrepreneur, is what you don't know, you don't know. All the money I've lost as an entrepreneur has been doing something I've never done before, and my risk was what I didn't know, I didn't know. If you are an existing entrepreneur, you've been successful, you're launching a CBD brand, then your order could be, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And if you have been a very successful entrepreneur, you've got an existing business that you're rolling your products into, then, your order can be whatever makes the most sense for you. So again, we will help you select the right products based upon your budget. And you want a nice diversity. For example, you want a soft gel, you want a tincture, you want a gummy, you probably want 1 or 2 topicals. And so again, we'll share with you what's most popular and what we would recommend based upon your target audience. Step 4 is to complete our online order form. So once you've determined what products you want and how many of those you want, we'll give you a link to our online order form where you'll go in and enter your information, make your product selection, and then that comes right to us, and that begins the process of us beginning to work with you on the design of your labels and in the processing of your order. Step 5 is to complete our design form. So once you've completed the order form, we will give you a link to our design form, and you're going to be able to see a lot of different kinds of design ideas. Things that are really attractive. I mean, Jim, who did the Zoom with me this last week, he's our branding guy that did all the branding at Joy Organics, designed all of our packaging. He designed about 10 different kinds of templates, so to speak, of ideas that you can say, hey, I really like this idea, or I like that idea. So again, we want you to we want you to complete our design form. You're going to tell us about your target market on that design form. You're going to tell us what colors you prefer if you have a recommendation or a desire. If there's any other special design requests, you'll want to go ahead and provide them on that form as well. And then if you've got a logo logo, we're going to need that logo. And if you don't have a logo and you want us to design your logo for you, then we're very happy to do that. Now, if you can see here on the slide, if you look at the bottom 4 products, one of the things that is very important is that when we design your first label, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, and you approve that, we're then going to design your remaining labels. If, as an example, you're taking all 4 of our tincture SKUs, you're not going to want one for your lemon that is one design, one for your orange that's a completely different design, one for your mint that is, again, a completely different design, and one for the natural that's a different design. You want it so when your product is sitting on the shelf that people can easily just see, okay, here's your 4 different kinds of tinctures, here's your 4 flavors. And so again, a lot of people make this very complicated and confusing. I mean, we're going to do whatever you tell us, but we highly recommend that you keep your labels clean and simple, and that you focus on the things that are most important on your front panel that we'll talk about here in a moment. Step 6 is to review your sample label. So once you complete your design form, we're going to come back and we're going to give you a sample label design, and that will generally take place within 1 to 2 business days. Now, when you get that one sample back, what we recommend to do is to print it out in real size. Don't look at it on your big monitor where everything is huge. No, print it out. I mean, if it's going on a tincture bottle, it's going to be this high. It's going to be this wide. It's not going to be this wide and this tall. So you want to print it out in real scale so you can see exactly what it looks like. Secondly, get feedback from the people that you respect. So if there's other people involved in this process, you want to get their feedback now. And the reason why is because when you give us the changes that you would like to have made, we need to be productive. I mean, this is one of the most time-intensive parts of the process if you're not prepared. So if you come back and say, here's what I want, and then you get it back, and now you go to 5 people and they say, well, how about this? How about this? And then you come back and give us more changes. This is a very painfully long process. So the more prepared you are, the faster we're going to be able to get your labels exactly the way that you want them. So if there's people involved that you want to get their feedback on the very first sample label. Put your requested changes in writing, so put them in an email, send them to your account specialist, and then I'd also recommend to discuss any of the changes you want that are not intuitive. I mean, if you say, hey, I want the strength of the bottle, the font increased slightly, that's pretty simple. But if there's anything that requires a conversation, make sure you have that conversation so that we can make sure we're crystal clear on what changes you want so that we can give you back exactly what you're looking for. Step 7 is to finalize your first label. So very simply, we're going to give you a sample label. You're going to give us your feedback. We're then going to take into consideration what you've given. We're going to make those revisions. We're going to give you back a new label. Hopefully it's what you like. If not, you're going to give us some more revisions, and then we're eventually going to get you your first label that you love. So that's what our goal is to get you a label that you go, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, when I say exactly what I'm looking for, you need to take into consideration who your target market is. So you need to say not what you love, but what you think your target market will love. Okay, a little difference there. So again, if you're a female and you're going to be targeting older men, do you really know what older men are looking for? So again, these are the types of things you need to take in consideration. It's not so much a label that you love as a woman, but that you think is going to be the type of label that the older men are going to love. So take that into consideration as well. Step 8 is to pay your invoice. So once we have your first label done, we're going to send you an invoice. When you pay that invoice, then we're going to complete your remaining labels, which is step 9. We're going to finish all your labels. They're all going to follow the design pattern of the one that you've approved so that they all look clean across the board. So if they're all on the shelf together or all on your website and somebody's looking at your products, they look like they're all part of the same brand. So then your goal then would be to proof all of them to make sure they're exactly what you want. If there's a change you want made on 1 or 2 of them, then we would make those revisions. But it's very important that you get the first label the way you want it, because then once we design all your other labels, to go back and change all of your labels because you couldn't make a decision on your original label, it just adds more time and more cost to the process. So again, get that first label the way you love it. We'll make all your remaining labels And then once you have approved your labels and made your payment, then we will ship your order within 7 to 10 business days. So very simply, that is the 10-step process. Now, let me just give you some tips to consider. Number one is to keep your front panel clean. Your front panel is what a consumer is going to look at when they look at your product on the shelf of a store or when they look at your mock-up or your 3D rendering on your website. Keep it clean. We get so many people that are asking, can you put this little emblem there? Well, when that little emblem is reduced down on a tincture bottle, nobody can see the emblem. People are wanting to add all kinds of extra text on their labels. If you go look at any credible CBD brand or any credible nutrition brand, people aren't muddying up the front panel of their labels with a bunch of stuff that is not important. So keep your front label panels clean. Don't put a lot of extra content on there that makes that front label confusing. Second, focus on the amount of CBD per serving. 2 years ago, the focus was on the amount of CBD in a bottle. Now it's on the amount per serving. I mean, if you go buy a bottle of melatonin that's got 30 5 milligram melatonin tablets in there, it doesn't say 150 milligrams of melatonin. It says 5 milligrams, 30 tablets. So you want to focus on the amount per serving. Now, during this transition from the amount in the bottle to the amount per serving, we recommend that you actually put both on your front panel. And if you look at Joy Organics, you're going to see that we prominently put the amount per serving, but we also have the amount per bottle. So if somebody is comparing us to another brand that only has the amount per bottle, that it's easy for them to do the math and see how much is in our bottle. I also recommend to use commonly known terms. We have people that say, you know, I don't want to put CBD, I want to put cannabinoids. Well, how many people out there know what cannabinoids are? So, you know, don't try to be overly creative. This is not about you. This is about your consumers. This is about your consumers being able to look at your product and immediately know what flavor it is, what your brand is, how much CBD is in the bottle. It's about keeping it clean, keeping it simple, and keeping it attractive. I mean, some of the most attractive brands in this space are ones that have very clean front panels. And then, of course, no claims. So don't be asking us to put relief cream on there or, you know, something else that would imply that it's a claim. We can't put claims on any of the labels that we produce. So here's some additional services that we offer here at Joy Organics that you may want to consider. Number one, our barcodes. These are the little UPC scan codes. So if your product is going to be sold in retail stores where they scan product, then you're going to need to have a UPC or a barcode on your product. And again, the private label specialist that works with you can talk to you more about that. We also offer mock-ups, which again, 3D renderings. These are the products that you would see on the shopping cart of a website. So if you go to Joy Organics as an example and you click on shop and you're looking at our products, those little pictures of our product on there, those are what we call mock-ups or 3D renderings. We can design those for you, less expensive than you could ever create them for yourself or even hire a photographer to do them for you. We also offer fulfillment services. You can learn more about those by talking to your private label specialist. Again, if you're just starting and you're very conscious about the money you're spending, you may want to start off doing your own fulfillment, and then as your business grows, then you could have us do your fulfillment. But you could, again, have us do your fulfillment right out of the gate. We're very happy to do that for you. The other thing you can consider is having decorator boxes. Here at Joy Organics, if you look at all of our products, our tinctures, they come in a nice little what we call a decorator box. We can refer you to a company that can design your boxes for you, that can print your boxes for you. If we are going to be the one fulfilling your orders, we must approve your box as well, because we can't go and put your bottle in a box unless that box is fully compliant and follows the FDA labeling rules and laws. So again, these are just some additional services that we offer here at Joy Organics. So hopefully this process has helped you understand not only our label design process, but some things that you should be thinking about, things that you should be really taking into serious consideration as you design your labels.